This is my first time being in front of an audience right after the break. Usually I'm before the break, so nice change. In terms of introduction, my name is Vesko Kolev, founder and CEO of iCampreneur. Our goal is to streamline the entrepreneurial journey for entrepreneurs and product builders. With my team, we were part of Telerik, and as part of that, we undergone what it means and what it takes to be #1 in the world, which is not an easy thing. In the next few minutes, let me start my timer, by the way. In the next few minutes, I would like to share a story about how we went from a zero AI product to a full AI product. And it will include some aspects that I hope will help you in your endeavors. Good. So let's start with a quick intro of what iCampreneur is so that you can know the context. iCampreneur is the first accelerator as a software specifically designed to boost the odds of success of entrepreneurs at every stage. And when we started iCampreneur, it was right before the ChatGPT era. It was in 2021. And because of that, we didn't start as an AI-first product. But of course, we were aware that AI was coming, and we kind of built in AI in our strategy. But the only question was when it will come and how fast. And one day, 12 months later, we got up, ChatGPT was launched, pretty much a year after we started. And oh wow, in 2 months, 100 million people, the fastest growing product in the internet era. And as a result, very fast, user expectation changed. And suddenly every product was supposed to be very smart, very intelligent, and provide everything that you need as if you are talking with a person. So how we look at what is the place of AI in a product? I'm sure that you've seen many products in the past 24 months that feels like have AI just as an add-on, or let's be real, right? It's just a way to say that they have AI. And pretty much it feels like as if it's driven by the marketing team trying to ride the wave. And when people start using it, the result is not necessarily very high satisfaction. And obviously, this wasn't going to be our path. So the question for us was, how should we look at AI so that we don't be like those examples? Fundamentally, we look at what we do from a first principles perspective in the following way. Essentially, we are gathering together knowledge from dispersed sources, and we operationalize it so that entrepreneurs can follow a structured approach to entrepreneurship. And we do that by providing a software system that facilitates that highly effective process. And the role of AI from that perspective is very clear. Everywhere where AI can remove a step, automate a process, or essentially remove any friction between what the user intends to do, is a good place for AI. And there was one more important aspect that we started to realize very quickly. And the realization was that ChatGPT essentially became the competitor of everyone. The hype was so high, the performance was so amazing, unexpected for the mass people, that it felt like whatever you're doing, ChatGPT will come and wipe it, right? So as a result, there is one more principle that we had to employ in our thinking, which was whatever you do, it should be at least as good as ChatGPT in terms of product performance. So for us, in our development, AI wasn't something like an afterthought. It was part of our view because we were looking for those opportunities every time when we were discussing features. And they kept presenting themselves because when you look from that prism, it becomes obvious. And the only question that was left for us is, when should we start? And how we got started, the universe just told us, guys, it's now. we were at a point as a company where we had everything. We had guidance, we had great user experience, we had happy customers, and bam, one day ChatGPT just came and turned over the tables. And this day, I remember it very clearly, mid-2024, AI became existential to us. Literally, customers, like one of our bravest fans, right, were coming to us telling us, listen, guys, we love what you do. Everything is cool, but intelligence is what we look for. Conversation is what we look for. We don't want just to have like principles to follow. We want them to be validated by the AI. We want to ask questions. We want answers. We need human-like interaction. And of course, what we should have done is what we did, right? We've said, okay, AI is something that we either write or die. So here is how we've approached it. Essentially, many people are asking, should you do a full rewrite or should you do it gradually? And as I told you, we had, our approach was such that it was expecting AI. And in general, full rewrites, how many of you have tried full rewrites? Good. And how many of you succeeded with them? Yes, expected, 100%. Yes, so we have very similar experience. Of course, you are seeing the white hair here, right? So we have tried everything along the years. And as a result, we didn't go for a full rewrite. We've started, and I'm just sharing you the first 3 steps that we've did, and then I'll share with you some lessons that follow from that. The first one was we started with our Hello AI feature, something very small, something that just gets an email template that's supposed to reach out a person and merges it with the data that's already available, which wasn't something possible before we had AI. Then we've introduced some features. We've created this character called Eva, the iCampreneur virtual assistant, which is helping you across the platform. We've introduced features like an AI-adapted, context-dependent tasks for the user, transformed things like that before were just guiding principles. So for example, if you want to define a customer segment, these are the 4 characteristics that you should look for in them. But with AI, we're able to do an AI validation that just validates them for you. And then instead of providing general examples of what, again, let's say a good customer segment is, we were able to generate suggestions of customer segment for the context of the user. And one more feature I would like just to share with you is we've created this onboarding that Zarko mentioned earlier, where we, in very short conversations, we're able to generate so much right from the start for the users instead of giving them a blank page startup. And the last step out of those first 3 was to create a proof of concept of something bigger, which was at the core of our product related to customer interviews. And now, lessons beyond the obvious out of those 3 steps. How many of you are engineers, by the way? How many of you love coding? Still, right? Why do you love coding?
Because it happens in English now and in Bulgarian.
Yes, and also because most probably you really love to be in control, right? And by explaining every step of the execution, the world is so good because you've defined it. Probably you think of yourself as a god of that world, and you are very proud of what you're building. However, AI came, and especially when used right, it is not 100% deterministic. And the result is a very subtle psychological moment for us as engineers, which is, how do I freaking know what this black box will produce to our customers, right? How the fucking, yeah, not that word exactly, but, and what if my biggest fear 1, my biggest fear 2, my biggest fear, what is going to happen if that thing didn't do the job right? So one thing that for me, it wasn't obvious is that there was a big psychological barrier between us and engineers and adopting QI because we're so proud of what we do. And you know, it's hard to trust it because you don't know how it works. And as a result, there needed to happen, a paradigm shift needed to happen, which was that we cannot just look at AI as coding, because it's not. It's more like leadership, it's more like management, and it requires very good human-like communication so that you can do it. And of course, all of the developers are very good with that, right? So, especially talking to people. So, I'll give you an example. Well, I believe this is the very, very useful analogy. Because if you hire, let's say, a very super experienced marketer, and this person comes day zero, and you start telling them, listen, you move your first step, second step, you write this in that way, and so on and so forth. Essentially, what you're doing, you're getting top expert, doing things your way, and yes, it's predictable, but it doesn't leverage the experience that that person brings. In our view, it's the same with AI. And yes, AI is predictable as human, and it's okay. The next learning that we've seen is that when you build features, and of course, these new features that I've shared with you in some of them, the first one we did in the following way. We documented the feature, built beautiful UI, wireframes, and so on, and then we gave the task to a developer to implement it. And do you know what we've learned? That's the wrong way of looking at it. Because when you're building a feature with AI, you have to experience the development of the feature firsthand, because this is a time when you can discover what actually AI actually can do for you. And I'll give you an example. We've built the feature of AI validation about the principles that I've mentioned, let's say for a customer segment. And I say, you know, a good customer segment is one that X, Y, Z. And we've built the feature, and it was working as expected, as planned, perfect. But once you are developing the feature, you realize, you know what, we can not only say whether this is good or bad, but we can also provide suggestions how to fix it. And such kind of small little details are the essence, in my view, of building very, very useful features with the AI. Again, in the same way, you are leveraging the potential of the people you work with. So, from that perspective, who are the best people then to work on AI? The first part is you cannot be just engineering. You cannot just think like an engineer for the obvious reasons that I've said. And who understand the context that we're building, who are providing the requirements, typically in a startup is the CEOs. In the bigger companies, later stage companies, there are product managers who are working on that. So, in our view, the best people, and this is what we've learned, to build AI are the product managers and CEOs. And it's not about requirements anymore as a result. It's about building the actual AI, because you're experiencing the possibilities and you're discovering more and how it can evolve. Does this make sense? Okay, 3 people, so at least 3 people are listening. Cool. And yet, AI is still coding, just on another level. So, I don't want to sound that from today, we don't need strong engineering. It's just the opposite, right? We need very strong engineers, because integration of AI within a product is a very complicated task, very complex. If you think about experience like ChatGPT, you type something, it responds something, it's pretty easy in terms of user experience. But at the second, when you have to provide structured input and expect structured output and then do something with it, the task becomes completely different level. And that's why it's very important to work on that differentiation or difference with your engineering teams and you as engineers, because it's not easy. And in terms of testing testing AI is not like a pass or fail thing. It is something that has a certain probability. You have to expect, let's say, in 95% of the cases, the AI will respond within certain threshold. And over time, you have to be able to continuously learning. So, to conclude that slide, building AI is also about strong engineering, and ultimately, product managers should get more out of the engineering skills. Engineers should get more out of the leadership skills, management skills, and, wow, communication. And one very important point. So when you build AI in a product, one of the things that can literally diminish what you're building very easily is to look at it as a bag of features. Conceptually, that's not the best possible way because it's hard to grasp what's over there. Instead, what we did was we've introduced Eva, and everything that was happening here and there in the system was personalized or characterized as Eva. So she's 24/7 next to you. She helps you with everything along the way. Sometimes a little thing, sometimes it's a big thing, but in general, everything that we do is combined in one big cohesive vision, which helps us explain what we do, which help us make it clear to the users how we help them, and as a result, they feel calm, supported, and very positive about the experience they're getting. And because we have Eva and we have this cohesive vision, after those 3 steps, we've managed to create things like, starting the platform with 2 clicks. You just say, I have an idea I want to work on. I have a pitch deck. You're just uploading the pitch deck, and the system already loads it. And then we have all those things that Eva can do customer interviews for you. Eva can analyze them. Eva can aggregate them. And so many more things that are going to come. Essentially, our guiding star is we will do everything that we can to remove friction that stays between our customer and being successful as entrepreneurs. So finally, I want to leave you with one last thought. It's a new world out there, and yet so many of humanity's most important problems remain unsolved. So fly and be part of the solution, please. Thank you very much.